We got people today still questioning percentage. Went down south for the tournament, and that was the talk. Well, where does the percentage go? Well, what does Shaji do with it? Well, I heard that it's used on the lands. And I heard that administration does this, that, and the third. Don't you see? Just to get to that point, you have allowed yourself to get to that point where you are now questioning something that has been established before we were even born. Something that was established with some of these people. I don't know why they didn't ask their fathers and elders in the community whom they were close to or relatives to. But now they're coming out.
The third main hallmark of a dangerous group or a dangerous individual is lack of transparency and deception. Lack of transparency means, are you allowed to question the earnings of the sheikh or the guide? Are you allowed to go up to them and say, how do you earn your living? If this is not allowed, meaning they do not allow you to do so, or when you leave the building, certain bodyguards of the sheikh will come and thrash you appropriately according to them, then in such a case you have a dangerous cult, a dangerous group. How many of the spiritual guides are you allowed to go up to and ask, how do you earn a living? So many of them own houses, country houses. So many of them own houses out in, not in inner city areas, in suburbs, in areas which are rich and affluent. We would want to ask, how did you earn your living? How did you make this money? Where did you get this jeep from? Where did you get the house worth £500,000? Every Muslim has a right to ask scholars, shuyukh, peers, anyone who's in a public figure regarding their earnings. Why do I say this? Sayyiduna Umar radiallahu anh, when he delivered a sermon, a person asked him, "Oh Umar radiallahu anh, you have an extra shirt. Where did you attain this shirt from?" So Sayyiduna Umar radiallahu anh said, "My son Abdullah gifted me this shirt." A famous incident that took place. If our master Sayyiduna Umar radiallahu anh was questioned like this in his time, every Sufi sheikh today who comes to the UK or who resides in the UK or any other place of the world is questionable regarding his earnings. We have a right to ask them where we need to transparency regarding their earnings. Where did they receive the house from? Reason why I ask is because so many people will say their students give them these gifts and money. That is fine, it is permissible. But tell me this, how many people would give bay'ah, oath of allegiance, if they knew from the onset that the Sufi sheikh takes gifts, so large amounts of money from his students? So many people will turn away from giving an oath of allegiance to such a person. So this is not made obvious from the onset. Rather, a person is drawn into the group. Once they have been drawn into the group, have been enclosed by the pyramid structure of the group, then the person is asked for money. They say, you may give £20 a month, £40 a month. At this point, the person will be subservient and give the money. But if they had known prior to joining the group that the sheikh and the group take a certain amount of money from the onset, how many of them will actually join the group? So many of them are also placed in peer pressure to give money also.